Welcome to Insights to Strength. I'm your host, J Love, and this podcast was curated to remind you that you are not your circumstance. Join me as I encourage you through the Word of God, help you to identify your strengths, and vocally walk alongside you in purpose. Hey there, seekers. I hope that your week has been well as you are enjoying what life has to offer you. And sometimes I know that looks real crazy, right? But I want you to trust the process. Trust the process. Earlier this week, I remember looking at a TikTok video from our dear old Auntie Tabitha Brown, right? And she, of course, leaned into us and asked us if we are okay. And she began talking about letting things go, right? And while she was sharing those thoughts with us, these were the thoughts that came to me. Because she wasn't lying. We know she's not going to lie to us, right? But these are the thoughts that came to me. And here they is. That mourning what was real, mourning what was is a real thing, right? That former life we talked about, like, so for me, I'm going to discuss or talk about the life of salvation, right? When we come into being saved, of course, we have all of these memories, right? And sometimes it's even when we've moved to a new state, or maybe we're moving into a new position and such in our job, so we don't interact with the same people any longer, right? Maybe the Lord has brought new people into your life and you may be skeptical at first. And all these feelings and thoughts are completely natural, right? So again, mourning what was is a real thing. However, I've come to know that there's no real way to prepare for it, right? If I'm speaking on old friendships or a friendship that had to kind of just fizzle out or die out, or let's say you were once married and now divorced, or maybe you weren't married at all, but you were in a long-term relationship, right? When that thing fizzles out and it's no more what you thought it had the potential to be, you go through a mourning process. And I've been through that several times over when it came to divorce, when it came to leaving my hometown and developing new friendships. I've been through all of that stuff already. But again, there's no real way to prepare for it. You got to go through it. That's the stinky part, right? And how did I process that? So for me, I began showing my appreciation, right? I did get to smile about those memories. I went down, back down memory lane. I had to remember all of what I've been through. I smiled at the times that once caused me pain, and I smiled at the memories that brought me so much joy, and I celebrated the growth. I even admired the growth I had, because in those memories, I was able or made to see the tenacity I had to keep striving. And keep striving towards the things I couldn't see. Kept striving in my faith, right? Kept striving and wanting to have better and more. And yes, all those things come with leaving others behind sometimes. But some of those people get to journey with you. So you celebrate that too. Those that grew with you. Don't discount those that couldn't. But that's the beauty in making sure we stay in the present. Right? We got to remain present so that while we are journeying to what is new, we still appreciate what we have been taught from those different circumstances and situations. Yeah, journey in that. We don't have to give up everything We don't have to regret everything. I don't believe in doing that. I feel like I'm overusing words right now, but there is nothing that I have gone through that has been tossed away. Except for algebra, y'all. I ain't used those numbers yet, okay? I have not had to use those numbers. But no, seriously. Some of the things, I'm going to be in, full transparency here. Some of the things that brought me grief were the lessons I get to carry now, and I find myself sharing over and over again with you all, with those who I do speaking engagements with. I've shared them in books and in devotionals. I've shared them in research and just in conversations abroad. I have not withered a lesson. That's the beauty in holding on to what was and still remaining present to show up in your new life. Having now faith, right? It's a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. I've only seen some things in spirit, and I chase after that vision, right? I run with the vision the Lord has given to me until it shows up in my natural. And then I celebrate the former thing and the new thing. I remember a lady coming to me when I was in the midst of my divorce, and she said to me, hey, you're going to use this. He's going to thank you, and you are going to help others through their processes. Not just be out here telling people, hey, you get a divorce. No. That was not what she was saying to me. And at the time, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't interpret it. I didn't even want to hear it because in that time, I was in pain. But the years to follow that, my ex did come to me and thank me and did tell to me that, hey, you did the right thing. He knew when we were departing from one another that he couldn't argue with what I had believed the Lord was telling me to do. He couldn't compete with that. And I appreciate him for not trying to. Although we both hurt in that time, right? We understood that neither of us had real control at that point. And so we allowed what was to be exactly that. And we held on to friendship so we can properly communicate it futuristically that, hey, it's all good. It's all love. And thank you for sharing the time that we did have. And so going and moving forward in that, she also told me that, hey, you're going to speak to other women along the way about this. Again, I couldn't see it. But surely those women started coming one by one, two by two. There was a gap where I didn't speak about it at all. And then those one by ones and two by twos began to be larger. And then I had a speaking engagement a week or two ago. And I sat in a room full of women and shared the stories of being divorced. But I also celebrated the fact that I had the lens of being a single woman, a married woman, and a divorced woman, and a woman who has been made whole by the Lord through it all. So yeah, mourning what was requires walking through a process, but appreciating what is. So I have no regrets. I have no regrets. I happily stand here and say I have no regrets and that I've learned from everything. I happily get to state that I have been made whole in my spirit and in my person. So much to the point where people and women have come to me and said, hey, you are a whole package. And I'm like, what? Literally, after doing a concert last year, a woman came to me and said, you are holy. And she said, not holy, Holy. She said, yeah, you have that. She said, but holy, Wholly. And when she said that to me, I knew that I was coming to a full circle moment. That he who has begun a greater work in you is faithful to perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. That the Lord had completed healing work on the inside of me. To be able to stand 10 toes down in who I am. And that his light shines through me so that when I get to share these stories and situations with other people, I present them from a healed space and not a bitter one. And that, my dear, that, seekers, that's a beautiful position to stand in. So as you go through your process, like I have done, I want you to celebrate where you have been and where you are, and celebrate where you are going in this new journey. Beloved, the Lord wants you to be in good health. He wants you in good health, and he wants you to prosper even as your soul prospers. Be in good health and prosper, even as your soul prospers. I love you all with the love of the Lord. As always, seekers, keep praying, keep pressing, and stand tall. Hey, seekers. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. You could even send a voicemail by clicking the link in our show notes. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at Insights to Strength. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.